Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. There are some quiet heroes in Jamaica who are contributing a lot to their communities, who are helping to rescue people from gunmanship, from antisocial activities. And today we want to feature one such person, Eugene Peter. He's the founder of the Just for Peace International, which is doing a lot of work in inner city communities in Spanish Town. Before then, he was doing work in East Kingston in a number of inner city areas. I've known him for quite a long time, and his life has just been dedicated to volunteerism. These are the persons whose examples we need to emulate. So we talked to Eugene Peter today about the work that he's doing, and I'm sure you'll be inspired by it. We thank you for your company. Eugene, good to have you on the program. I remember about 25 years ago, you invited me down in East Kingston one Saturday night to be a judge of a youth talent concert. You were working with the youth there, trying to take the youth away from negative lyrics and to have them in positive directions. Why have you devoted your whole life? You're a teacher by profession. You worked as a journalist at the Star for a number of years. But would you have given yourself to this task of volunteerism? Why?
It's not an easy task, but I have a passion for doing it. I believe that if you come into this world and you are only living for yourself, that's not enough. You should leave this world knowing that you have changed the lives of individuals to make them better persons in society.
Yes. Just about your work that you're doing in Spanish Town. I know, for example, that you work with some of the aspiring DJs and you try to get them to do positive lyrics, to teach consciousness rather than push gun lyrics and slackness and so on.
Most of the DJs and singers were performing gun lyrics. I think that contributes to a lot of problems in Jamaica. So actually I have to mentor them to show them that, okay, you can get publicity by doing positive lyrics to change lives in Spanish Town. I remember that I started out at Jack's Cable. I was then programs manager, and I had a show on that television station called Just for Stars. Oh. And I remember that I came across over 20 youths, and this led me to form Just for Peace International, because a number of people thought this was an excellent program because we were changing lives in Spanish Town. And these involve youths from like De La Vega City, Marchpen, Windsor Road, Rivoli, Tarspen, St. John's Road, and even as far as Central Village.
Yes. And you would give mentorship to these young people, and you would even take them to some TV stations, we have to call the names, and show them that they can get publicity from doing conscious lyrics. And you contacted me about 15 years ago to do something on Alpha Rowan. Yes. I was very impressed with it. You know, I'm a really excellent DJ, pushing consciousness.
He became a star in his community. Yes. And inspired a lot of youth, because one of his songs went to #2 on the national chart. Yes. And that is also good. But to add that these youths, it's not an easy task to deal with them because they have to trust you. True. And a number of persons in Spanish Town will say to me, how do you do it? Because a number of these youths, they don't recognize their fathers. They have no male role models. And if you ask them about their father, they'll tell you that their father need gunshot or something like that. They didn't care for them, so they are actually looking for someone who can guide them and to actually make them become better individuals. So a number of these youths have become role models in their respective communities. There is one who is from Marchpen Road, and he is Romario Gale. And he performed first at the Pegasus Hotel, and Beverly Manley said that he had talent, and he represented Just for Peace International at King's House. and he's now a barber, and he is my vice president. So I actually coach him to represent me on television if I'm not able to go.
Yes.
And that's Romario Gale, one of my 2 vice presidents for the Just for Peace International.
And you have worked with guys who were robbing buses, who were doing all kinds of things. I mean, and you knew that's what they were doing. And you talked them out of it. You gave them alternatives.
When I first
Without
met
calling
them,
any names, you could
right,
give us some
when I
examples.
first met them, they told me that nobody could let them stop doing these things, not even their girlfriends. So, you know, it's not an easy task for me. But actually, I have to meet them one-to-one, individually, and I ask them first what they want out of life. And a number of these youths, they are DJs, are singers. So I actually have to push to get them on television to perform. And because of that, and they become positive and popular, they will no longer go back to robbing buses, etc.
Yeah. And you work not just with the young, you work with the elderly too. I mean, you have done a lot of work with Food for the Poor, you know, bringing supplies to people, helping people with zinc, various things. Talk about the work you do with
I have been working
seniors.
with Food for the Poor, helping poor people for more than 15 years, when Food for the Poor was located in Central Village.
Yes.
And I remember people will come to me and say to me that, for example, one particular woman was living virtually under a bridge. And I got information, sent it to Food for the Poor, and they got a house. There was this gentleman who I interviewed at the Gleaner Company, and he said that the children's mother had run away, and they had virtually little or nothing on Christmas. And I wrote the article, and as you know, that a number of the Gleaner article went abroad.
Yes.
And he got a 3-bedroom Food for the Poor house,
Yes.
and he got so many furniture that it could not hold in that house.
Yes.
And a politician gave him, I think, 5 acres of land to farm. And he was getting a lot of money
Power of positive
from
purpose.
abroad.
Yes.
I remember one day when he went and collected the money, he said to me, "You don't want the money out of it?" I said, "No, you take all of it."
Yes.
And that is just one particular individual that I have helped.
Yes.
And remember, you have Samir Yunis, who usually work with inner city
That's
youth.
right, that's right.
And
Yes,
the
Chamber of
foundation, Samir Yunis Foundation, had invited me now to downtown to perhaps give them some suggestions.
Yes.
And we went to a number of inner city communities in Kingston. And what we do, we highlight youths who were doing positive things, like planting callaloo and selling it, and being a barber, and what the Star, and I have to commend the Star at that time, the Star would feature these youths on the cover.
Yes.
Right, and I think at that time, Claire Clark Grant
That's right,
was my supervisor.
TBJ
And
general
yeah,
manager now.
and she's very creative. I mean, if you work with Claire Clark Grant and you haven't achieved anything, I don't know what to say about you, because she's a real pusher.
Yes.
She usually tells me that, you know, Eugene, you can get any story
Yes.
about.
Yes. Good. Eugene Peter has been doing so much in inner city communities, an example of the kind of volunteer spirit that we should have. We take a break, but we'll be right back.